Hey, what is going on, guys? Jay here, back at it with a Yamaha G29 golf cart. We will be fixing some bearing issues that we have on the rear differential. There is a bearing on each side. I already replaced the driver's side, but then I noticed that the passenger side is also shot. And even though there's a couple of videos out there on how to do it, very little people show how to use the press, which I happen to have one. Believe it or not, I bought this about 5 years ago for $70, and it's been the best tool that I've ever purchased and one of the cheapest, believe it or not. As you can see around my garage, I have all kinds of tools. I work on dirt bikes, I work on motorcycles, e-bikes. I do a lot of things in here. I even fix my own cars. I'm very handy, guys. I'm very gifted in that particular sense. But anyways, getting back here to the Yamaha, yes, I already replaced one of the bearings, and the noise that it was making is this one. So even though that video was not 16:9 as the entire video, at least you heard the noise, and it's not very pleasant. It kind of sounds like a Tesla when it's reversing. It's kind of weird. It has that it doesn't really sound like a bad bearing. At first I was very confused. I thought it was actually the motor, but it wasn't, guys. So anyways, I got this nice little cart. It's in very good shape. The paint is great for a 15-year-old cart. It has nice rims, so on and so forth. I'm very happy. I just put one of the batteries that I got sent from Greener Power. This is the 100 amp hour battery. It came with bad batteries and the bad bearings. That's why maybe I got such a great price at $1,700 for the whole golf cart. But as you can see, this thing doesn't even have rust. I checked the whole thing. I mean, it has like a little like stains of rust here and there, but it's not chewed up entirely. So this is what you guys will need to get this done. First of all, you will need a press. It is recommended. These bearings are very tight on that shaft that we're about to pull, so you do need one of these press, or even a smaller one, but you do need a press. The other things that you need is an impact gun like the one I have here. You're gonna need some sort of solvent so you can clean up the area. Then we have here a size 24mm socket. That's gonna be for the nut that is holding the hub and the shaft together. Then we're gonna need a size 19 for the lug nuts. Okay, you're gonna need some regular pliers. Now this is very important. You guys will need these snap ring pliers. You're gonna need the reinforced one. I was using these, the ones that you can replace the tip, but these are not strong enough and they don't go deep enough into the little holes of the snap ring itself. So you're gonna need some heavy duty ones. I found these on these are from O'Reilly's. They're branded Titan, and I think this is going to work better. I use, this one for the opposite side, but I was struggling a lot. You're going to need a rubber mallet, a flat head screwdriver, and of course your bearing. Now I just ordered another one from Amazon. This is the one from the driver's side. This is the old one that I replaced, and this is the place where I got my bearing from, and this is the part number right there in case you need it. So yeah, that is it for that. And now, guys, another thing you're gonna need is a oil pan, and I do have a compressor in handy just in the event that I have to clean that debris around the area. Let me not forget, you do need a jack stand, which is, or not a jack stand, but you do need a jack, which is this right here. And I do have the stands as well, but I'm not going to use them. This is a 3-ton jack, so I'll be more than secure with that one. You also need that as well. So as you can see, you do need some tools to get this done. First things first, jack it up. Now we remove the wheel with the 19mm socket I mentioned earlier. We then place the oil pan right underneath, and we're going to start cleaning the area here a little bit. All right. Now we grab our flathead screwdriver and gently pry the cover that is protecting the shaft nut right here. That's the 24mm one. Now we have to remove this pin. For this, what we will use is our pliers, and you're going to unbend them. Now we can grab this here and kind of tap into it, and here's our little pin. You might need to use that rubber mallet to hammer it down a little bit. Alright, so that hub is quite stubborn. It doesn't want to come off on the opposite side. It came off very easily. So what I will do is remove the snap ring, hopefully without war. This thing being on the way doesn't help because I had to angle the snap ring plier, and that doesn't help at all. Well, we just got the snap ring removed. Basically what I did is that I pressed on this area with the snap ring tool, and then I grabbed the flathead screwdriver and I put it in this area, and then I just pried it off. That was the best method I could find. It is all because we cannot remove the hub. It is very tight on there, but we had to remove the hub still in order to get that bearing off, and you guys will see that here soon. So now we are ready to pull out the bearing from this housing, which seems to be very solid on there. We might have to spray some of that penetrating fluid, which I happen to have in handy, to try and get this off the housing. I'm going to hammer it now with the rubber mallet and see if it comes out without a war. Alright guys, so what I'm doing right now is just hitting it with the rubber mallet, and it seems to be coming out. I don't know if you can see that, but it is slowly but surely coming off. There we go. And there it is. It came off. All right. This one is definitely longer than the other one. So we're going to have to re-angle our press here to get things done. And as you can see, we're going to have to clean this area up a little bit. It is rusted. So this is that long shaft that goes inside of the differential. This is the bearing. Everything comes out that way, comes out towards the hub side. So what I'm doing is I'm resting the bearing onto this, so that way when I press on this middle part, the hub is going to come out first, and then this is going to come out, and eventually the bearing will come off as well. So this is what I did. All right, I'm putting it right on the middle, and now I'm going to start pressing with this 20-ton jack. So now what I'm going to do is relieve the pressure, and that hub is supposed to come off. Let's see. All right, yep, and it just came off. As you can see, it was supposed to be coming off with ease, but it didn't. It was frozen on there. Now we remove this spacer from the middle. It comes off very nice. And now we take the snap ring off as well. So all of this should have been done at the beginning, but it was quite stubborn on there. And so now I'm going to continue pressing on this until this shaft is going to drop to the bottom here, and just be careful so that you don't break anything. Now we're going to once again bring down this 20-ton jack. It's just very slow the way that it comes down, but it's okay, it works. So just keep pressing, and exactly what I told you, it's going to drop from the bottom here, and that's how we take out the bearing from this area. As you can see, there's like a little washer here. You want to keep that in there. There's no need to remove that. This is what we are replacing, this nasty looking bearing. All right, so I'm just waiting on Amazon to deliver the one that I ordered, and I can see there's play in here. I mean, you can feel it and see it, but it's hard to show that on camera. There is play, and the slight play will cause two problems: leaks, and it will also make a noise, in which you guys already heard. We got the housing all cleaned up. The trick was that I happen to have one of these in handy. This is a metallic brush for drill, and I use a little bit of this solvent. I spray some of this stuff on there, and before it dried out, I cleaned it, and then I grabbed a piece of paper towel. I cleaned the all the debris that came out, and then with the air compressor, I just blew everything that was on there. It seems like it has a little bit of cancer in here, but we can't do anything about that, unfortunately. You know, I don't have the tools to get in there, plus it doesn't really interfere with anything. Using that same method with the brush, I cleaned up a little bit around this area that it had more of that loose rust, so I cleaned it off a little bit. I didn't touch this part here. I left that alone, and then what I'm going to do is, before I put this on there, I'm going to clean it once more. I'm going to add a little bit of the differential fluid, in which, by the way, I did replace it. I told you guys that I did. It is recommended that you do, if you're doing a bearing service, that you replace that old fluid. The only thing I did differently, not knowing, is that I replaced the fluid before replacing the bearings, because that's how I knew the bearings were bad. There wasn't noise on there, but there were no real physical, how would I say this, physical signs that there was an issue on there. So yeah, normally you want to do this after. I couldn't find the 80W90 that is recommended, but then you can also use the 75W85, which the viscosity is just slightly less than this one. You're going to need 2 of these containers, and that's what I added on the differential. You want to put a little bit of this on that shaft before entering it inside of the differential itself, and that will keep things nice and lubed in there. And that's it, guys. It got a little dark on me, but finally the bearing came in. What I did notice is that, or I actually forgot, is that I ordered it from a different brand just because this one was not available for next day shipping or delivery. This one was, but they both have about the same reviews. And yeah, I compare them size wise. They look identical, which is great. And now what we're gonna do is I have to lower my press for the bottom side, because this shaft is a little bit longer than this one, so I had to cover up for that difference. And so yes, I got to bring it down, and then we're going to press in the new bearing here in a few moments. It is very important that you guys know the difference between one end and the other. This one has the threads. This is where the hub gets connected to, and as I told you guys before, everything comes out that way or this way. Okay, so what we're gonna do is slide the bearing through here almost all the way to the end, like what you're seeing right now. And now we're gonna flip it the opposite way. So I have to lower. Luckily this has different positions. I have to lower it so that way we can actually get this done. And now all you have to do is simply align it here with the hydraulic jack. And now we're bringing it down. It's probably going to take a minute. And now the bearing is sliding in. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that, but that's the bearing. There we go. You're gonna know when it has done it because it gets a little harder. We tighten that up. I think we're done with this now. And check this out. Our bearing is in there. And then we're just going to let it fall on it like so. All right. Now I can use our finger to actually just spread it. It is also a good idea to add a little bit of grease and for this, the reason for the grease is to keep debris from going in and oil coming out. So for this, I'm going to apply it right on top, like so. You don't have to add too much. This is again just to provide that little extra coating. There we go. That's pretty good. And now we're going to spread that a little bit. We just need a very thin coating of it. And now we are ready to slide it through. And the rest should be very self-explanatory. So for this, there we go. That went in very easily this time. We got rid of all that rust. Now we got to work on that C-clip, in which we're going to do right now. All right, for this part, sometimes you're going to need a helping hand. That could be a smart idea, but I will have my flat screwdriver in handy, just because sometimes you have to go little by little with it. All right, so you have to kind of like pry this open, and then there we go. Now we're going to press in here like so. Oh, that went in super easy. That's what I was saying before. When we had the hub assembly here, we couldn't get it off. This was in an angle, and when you have it in an angle like this, it's hard to grab on that C-clip or snap ring, sorry. So that snap ring works best if you have this straight ahead like this. It's a lot easier. And yes, I would definitely recommend this snap ring tool. It helps quite dramatically. Now all we got to do is simply slide this through like so. That's done. Now we're going to install the hub assembly. So for the rest, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the washer on here like so. Now I'm going to put the nut on here. All right, and then we're going to tighten it up so that it pushes in the rest of the way like this. As you can see, everything looks pretty good. Now it is time to put this pin back on here. There we go. Now we put on the cover and we reinstall the wheel. Don't forget your hubcap, of course. Now we put back on the wheel and we start putting on the nuts. And that, my friends, is how you replace the wheel bearing on a Yamaha G29 rear differential. And again, this is for the shaft. On both sides is going to be exactly the same scenario, with the exception that the shaft on the driver's side is a little bit shorter than on the passenger side. Well guys, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, comment, and share. And if you like this video, well, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you don't miss future videos like these. And I'll see you guys on my next one.